Hey guys, Luke here, your digital concierge with Gramophone. Today we're going to be doing a more in-depth look at the Tribe Tower by Totem. Why this is a very special speaker in the Totem lineup, and just a special speaker overall if you ask me. You guys may remember the video we did at our Gaithersburg showroom of the Totem Tribe living room. These are those same towers. They have since come to live at the Timonium showroom so that we can demonstrate them more for 2-channel, as these are such a versatile product. But they have a very cool history to them, an awesome design principle that I'm going to talk about. But I cannot wait to break it down for you guys because these are truly a favorite among many of us here at Gramophone, and for excellent reason. You may not have heard much about Totem in the past, but from here on out you will, because these are a standout speaker line from a designer, manufacturer, and builder who stands head and shoulders above many others. The Tribe Tower itself is a culmination of many years of development born from the rest of Totem's Tribe line. The Tribes were originally designed to be on-wall speakers, and to this day there's still many products in that lineup that are superlative for on-wall / architectural product. The Tribe 3 and Tribe 5 being most like this tower here. But Vince, chief designer and founder of Totem, came up with the idea for the tower a little bit after designing those high-performance on-wall models, realizing that their small size yet huge performance could just as easily be shaped into something you can set on the floor and use like a traditional floor standing speaker. A marriage of a bit of a lifestyle product, but with real audiophile cred to go with it. We've all seen many small speakers out there trying to sound big, and they don't quite do it. These, however, are the exception, and I'm going to tell you why. But before we get into it, make sure you guys subscribe to the Gramophone YouTube channel and click that bell notification icon down there, because we've got many great highlights and reviews on the way for you guys. Now then, the Tribe Tower by Totem Acoustic, and how this is the little speaker that really could. Alright guys, so let's talk about the features of the Tribe Tower, and there is so much going on in these incredible units that, oh, it's so much fun to talk about. So let's start with the driver design. On the bottom here you'll see these two woofers. These are 4-inch woofers, but these are the most overbuilt 4-inch woofers in the industry if you ask me, and they sound like they are something much bigger. This is the Torrent driver, and this was developed by the chief designer of Totem, Vince, all by himself, and his goal was to create a small woofer with an extraordinarily long throw, and also that utilizes no crossover in the woofer. That means you have no passive electronics in between your amplifier and this woofer motor, making it about as transparent as can be. But this is a very difficult thing to do. You try to feed most woofers and you have no crossover, nothing to divide up that signal frequency inside the speaker. It's either just going to go crazy or sound completely out of whack or out of phase. And phase accuracy is a chief engineering principle over at Totem, nailing that accuracy. What it took was making a speaker motor that can provide 1 inch of complete throw while maintaining complete magnetic isolation of the voice coil no matter where it is in that inch forward or backward of throw. These are built like an aircraft component, and they have so many neodymium magnets stuffed into them in a claw shape, which gives it that long curve of control. And these woofers are unique in that they play very high because they just naturally roll off and hand up to this 1.3-inch tweeter, and there is nothing but a single first order capacitor on that tweeter, keeping those passive internal electronics to the most bare minimum possible, since there is no tweeter that you can just feed a bass frequency to. This 1.3-inch tweeter is a soft dome, but it is a laser etched soft dome, and you might notice the 1.3-inch is a little bit bigger than the usual just flat one. The reason for that is to give better meshing between the higher end of the speaker and the lower end of the tweeter, making that handoff as natural as possible. And natural it is. As one thing I've noticed about every Totem Tribe product or any Totem product from the Element line that features the Torrent woofer is that the driver integration is about as good as one can imagine. Some speakers you feel like you can almost hear the tweeter, like you can almost hear the mid woofer or the mid bass. Not so on these. It feels like everything is one congruent driver because that handoff is so perfect. And it makes sense. This plays relatively low for a tweeter. This plays very high for a woofer and does so very well. Now you guys might be thinking, okay, well, how does it sound? Well, this is the fastest 4-inch woofer you're ever going to hear, and the bass is just... Every note has detail. It comes in quickly and releases softly, and that's kind of the magic of this speaker. The in-your-face aggression, the attack, but also the smooth release to keep your music feeling like it's flowing, like it's musical. And it makes this a very versatile speaker as well. They are just as at home listening to detailed audiophile musical tracks as they are reproducing movies or even video games because they have the speed to capture every effect. Moving up into the tweeter, being a soft dome, it is a little bit rolled off on the highs, but it's not undetailed. And it makes for a speaker that's completely unfatiguing while still being very resolving for the price point it sits in. And doing all of that being this small. Its competitors are twice this size, and it keeps up with all of them, if not defeats them. And the way that some of this crossovering works is through the use of bi-wire terminals in the back of the speaker, which I'll show you in the design portion, giving you a direct link to the driver that does full bass duty, and then a separate connection for the driver that handles part of the mid-range rolling off into the tweeter. Giving you that bi-wire option allows for either bi-amplification or at least a better connection to that single amplifier no matter what you're doing. One thing I love about all Totem products, and you see it most expressed in anything in the Element or Tribe lines, anything utilizing this Torrent driver. These have some of the most realistic, holographic, three-dimensional like soundstage and imaging that I've ever heard. Totem's design principles, some of the highest things at the list are phase accuracy and excellent imaging, because it's that sense of image that really envelops us, that is immersive, that pulls us in, that makes it feel like you're not listening to a speaker, that they disappear and that the room just becomes the music or the content that you're listening to. And if you guys have never experienced really good stereo imaging before, the first time you do, it is surreal. It feels like there's surround speakers in the room when there isn't. And that's how good these speakers are, able to pinpoint everything in the soundstage right as it should be. Singers are dead center. Instruments that are in the back sound like they're in the back. Guitarist playing more up front on the stage feel more up front, more forward, closer to you. And that will all vary based on what you're listening to. If someone is supposed to sound far, they do. If they're supposed to sound close, they do. Oh, and let's get into movies and video games. Yeah, talk about being able to pinpoint where anything is coming from. It's a big competitive advantage. And for movies, it's just so immersive. It's like being in the effect that's happening. All right, guys, so let's just talk about the specs. These have an 89 decibel sensitivity, so they're not super efficient, but they are by no means difficult to drive. They have a 4 ohm impedance, so you will need an amp that's capable of handling 4 ohms, but if you have it, they'll reward you because a 4 ohm speaker pulls a little bit more power out of said amp and gets the most forward. They also have a frequency response of 30 hertz to 30 kilohertz. And when I say 30 hertz, that's not a bunch of marketing department dribble at -10. No, I mean this is a usable 30 hertz out of this little speaker and this little woofer, because that is the crazy power of the Torrent driver. That 1-inch forward and back throw with its crazy speed, insane motor, and excellent grip on all the energy. With this set with about 6 inches to about a foot off your wall, so you do need to utilize a little bit of wall loading to get that, of course, but otherwise these are very flexible in their placement, and at about 6 inches to a foot off the wall, yes, you will say to yourself, I am hearing a true 30 hertz. And it's just so cool when you realize it's coming from something this small, but it can do it. That's how cool this driver is. It is built to the nines in build quality and in how it's over-engineered. Quick note about compatibility, guys. These are built using WBT speaker binding posts, which are basically the highest quality binding posts that are available in the industry. And of course, you're going to find them on a Totem product, especially on the Tribe and Element series, being among the best of the best. As you can see, there are 4 posts in total, giving you the option for bi-wiring from a single amp, getting maximum connectivity out of using a bi-wire cable, or if you wish, you can bi-amp, as in split the frequencies between an amp driving your lows on its own cabling and an amp driving the mids and highs again on its separate cabling. Bi-amping on a speaker like this does come with the added benefit of a little bit better separation, because this is a speaker resolving enough to hear that if you have equipment up to the task. But on a simpler note, these are binding posts, and they therefore will handle a banana, a spade, and bare wire. These just being at the quality that they are, they're going to last forever. A lot of speakers maybe have a lot of plastic or just cheap parts in the post. You sometimes worry about breaking something. Not so here. These are solid, solid metal. Alright guys, so let's go on to the design portion of the Totem Tribe Tower. So let's start with the dimensions. These are at the base 7.01 inches wide, but tapering off as you move toward the top because these have an obelisk-like shape to them. They are 7.87 inches in depth, and they stand 36.8 inches tall. So obviously by those numbers you know just how compact these are if you couldn't already tell. And on that note, just look at the overall aesthetic. We're going for an ultra slim, kind of lifestyle-esque product design here, but as I said before, one that does not compromise actual listening performance to truly get the biggest sound that we can out of the smallest body. I know I've said it, but it is so cool the first time that you hear these speakers because there's just this cognitive dissonance of how can something that small sound that big, that good, that deep, and that detailed. But this design, just quite simply in a word, works. And it all pays homage to the genius of Vince, the chief designer and founder of Totem. It took him years to come up with the Torrent technology and to find an appropriate cabinet for it. And over those years, he has achieved that dream, as far as I'm concerned. And looking more just at it, I like how you have the tapering lines. You have the wide base, the slimmer top. The top itself kind of is slicked back at an angle rather than just being a flat speaker top. These are a simple yet very attractive speaker for design reasons that are a handsome, understated language, but nonetheless just eye-catching enough. It's kind of like an obelisk shape, and I think that's pretty cool, especially in a world where most things just look like a glorified box. But let's talk about what's going on the inside, because much of this content of the speaker's design is happening on the interior. This is a monocabinet design, being built to be as if one piece almost all around, with excellent bracing and shelving on the inside, as well as a borosilicate coating on all of the inner surface. That borosilicate coating just further seals off the cabinet everywhere you want it to be, preventing any parasitic frequencies from escaping, and only allowing the energy we want to exit the cabinet to do so from the rear ports for magnifying our bass energy. Totem goes as far to use varying density MDF in the construction of these cabinets, being denser at the front and thinner on the sides and back, again for controlling resonances and getting the best performance out of that front baffle being the most crucial. If you guys have a look at the bottom, look at the feet on these guys. These semi-spherical decouplers are designed to give the speaker not only a very good foot to rest on, but using that semicircular shape to keep the minimum of that foot in contact with the ground as possible. Enough to make a stable speaker, but also enough to keep as much of this body decoupled so energy is not lost into the floor. And those feet are no afterthought. They're machined out of a solid aluminum and they are up to the job. Finally, these come in 4 different finishes. We have 2 variants of a black and a white finish. The first are going to be your satin black and your satin white. What I have with me here today is the ice finish, which is a high gloss white, and there's also dusk, which is a high gloss black. These are known as the design finishes, and they are 100% worth it if you ask me, because they look absolutely stunning. And this is a level of paint that's basically on the level of like a Porsche grade automotive paint. Really, really good stuff. And here's the cool part though. Those are the standard options, but you can go through us to go directly to Totem to have yourself a pair manufactured in almost any color you want in that same high quality automotive paint that would be on the grade that someone like Porsche uses. Starting under $6,000 a pair and available in many luxurious finishes, the Totem Tribe Towers are the definition of what it means to deliver an incredible output from a small package. The Totem Tribe Tower is a speaker that finally marries a lifestyle product that easily integrates into any home but with a genuine audiophile performance that will leave you gobsmacked at what it can do with its small size. So if you guys are looking for a speaker that can satisfy the lifestyle needs of the modern home, but still deliver genuine audiophile performance from something this small that still manages to handily defeat much of its competition, this is the speaker for you. Head on over to skybygramophone.com where you can check out securely and have a pair of these incredible speakers shipped fast and free straight to your door. They will blow your mind and gobsmack you the way they did me the first time I heard them, and you will enjoy every second of them. You can also find us at any of our 3 showrooms. We are in Timonium, Columbia, and Gaithersburg, Maryland, and you can also find us at our Kitchen Design Center in Hunt Valley. Finally, we're on social media as well. You'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, Houzz, and Twitter, as well as a few others. They'll all be in the link down below. If you guys need help coming up with project ideas, if you need to schedule a service request, or you just want to speak to one of our hi-fi, home theater, and interior design experts, go get inspired at gramophone.com where we have a bunch of excellent resources to get you started. Also, ask at gramophone.com if you have any questions for me regarding anything that you've seen here on the channel. All right, guys, please give us a like if you enjoyed this. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And subscribe to the Gramophone channel for all of your audio and home theater needs. And I want to hear back from you guys. Who of you knows Totem Acoustic, and what do you think? Because everyone that I know who knows Totem loves it, but I want to hear your opinion. And what do you want to see from us in the future as well? Thank you guys for watching. Be seen.